Mount Everest, the world's highest peak at 8,848.48 meters, attracts thousands of adventurers every year. This mountain is not just a remarkable wonder of nature, but also a symbol of dreams. However, beneath its dazzling icy summit, Everest conceals countless tragic stories. Mount Everest, the world's highest peak, is a dream destination for many adventurers across the globe. But hidden beneath its breathtaking beauty lies a harsh and unforgiving reality. Over the years, hundreds of climbers have lost their lives in their attempt to reach the summit. Due to the extreme weather and challenging terrain, retrieving bodies from such altitude is almost impossible. As a result, many remain forever on the mountain, silently telling stories of human courage, struggle, and tragedy. Among these silent markers is a well-known figure known as Green Boots, named after the bright green climbing boots that became a landmark for many years near the summit. This tragic reminder served as a symbol of the mountain's unforgiving nature. Another unforgettable story is of German climber Hannelore Schmatz. In 1979, after successfully summiting Everest, she faced exhaustion on her descent. Despite her efforts, the extreme cold and lack of oxygen overpowered her. Her story reminds us of how challenging and unpredictable the death zone of Everest can be. Such stories are not just about loss. They reflect the spirit of exploration and the risks people are willing to take to follow their dreams. Mount Everest, a place of extraordinary beauty and extraordinary danger, continues to inspire and challenge human limits. There are countless such stories on Everest. So far, over 340 people have lost their lives while climbing or descending the peak, and this number only accounts for the ones we know of. How does a mountain that carries so many dreams also become a symbol of death? This question compels us to reflect. Everest is not just a peak of great height. It is also a story of courage, risk, and, at times, irreplaceable loss. The history of death on Everest and other deadly mountains. The story of death on Mount Everest begins in 1921. Before a team of British explorers even reached the mountain's base, 2 people had already lost their lives: an unidentified Nepali porter and a scientist named Alexander Kellis. The following year, in 1922, an avalanche claimed the lives of 7 porters during another British expedition. These incidents signaled the dangers of Everest. The exact number of bodies on the mountain is unknown, but a 2015 study estimated over 200. Today, this number has surpassed 340. While Everest is often called the graveyard of the brave, it is not the deadliest mountain in the world. If Everest isn't the most dangerous, which one is? Let's explore some of the most lethal mountains. Annapurna I. At 8,091 meters, Annapurna I is the 10th highest mountain in the world, but in terms of fatality rate, it is considered the most dangerous. Since its first successful ascent in 1950, only 365 climbers have reached the summit as of 2022, but 72 have lost their lives. The southern face of the mountain is particularly hazardous due to frequent avalanches and unpredictable weather. The 2014 avalanche and blizzard, which claimed 43 lives, highlighted the extreme danger of this peak. With a fatality rate of approximately 32%, Annapurna I ranks as the riskiest of them all. K2. Standing at 8,611 meters in Pakistan, K2 is the second highest mountain in the world. Known as the Savage Mountain, K2 is one of the most difficult peaks to climb. Sudden weather changes, falling rocks, and the infamous bottleneck passage, prone to deadly avalanches, make it extremely treacherous. As of 2023, around 800 climbers have reached the summit, but 96 have perished. The major disasters of 1986, 1995, and 2008 solidified K2's reputation as a deadly mountain. Its fatality rate stands at 23%. Nanga Parbat. Nanga Parbat, also in Pakistan, is the 9th highest mountain at 8,126 meters. Its 15,000-foot-high Rupal face is the tallest mountain face in the world. Before the first successful ascent in 1953, 31 climbers had already died attempting it. To date, 514 climbers have summited, while 73 have lost their lives. Unstable weather, avalanches, and sheer rock faces make this mountain so dangerous that it is often called the Killer Mountain. Its fatality rate is 21%. Kangchenjunga. At 8,586 meters, Kangchenjunga is the third highest mountain in the world. Due to its remote location and difficult routes, it is considered one of the most dangerous peaks. Avalanches, rockfalls, and altitude sickness, hypoxia, are the leading causes of death here. Since 1905, only 209 climbers have reached the summit, while 53 have died. The difficulty of rescue operations and the mountain's isolation contribute to its high fatality rate of 15%. A legend also surrounds Kangchenjunga, stating that women who attempt the climb are cursed with misfortune. Mount Everest. At 8,848.48 meters, Everest is the tallest mountain on Earth and also has the highest total number of deaths. Since 1921, more than 340 climbers have died while attempting to summit or descend. Most deaths occur in the death zone, above 8,000 meters, where oxygen levels are dangerously low. Tragic years like 1996, 15 deaths, and 2023, 18 deaths, show that Everest remains a dangerous challenge. However, with a fatality rate of around 14%, Everest ranks 5th in terms of risk. The sheer number of climbers increases the overall number of fatalities. Avalanches, falls, and altitude sickness are the primary causes of death on the mountain. Although Everest is often referred to as a graveyard for climbers, its popularity and overcrowding contribute to its high death toll. However, in terms of pure risk, Annapurna Thapar, K2, Nanga Parbat, and Kangchenjunga are even deadlier. These mountains present a unique blend of breathtaking beauty and extreme peril, reminding us of both nature's majesty and its unforgiving dangers. Removing dead bodies from Mount Everest is an extremely complex and nearly impossible challenge. Most deaths occur above 25,900 feet, (ca. 8 kilometers), in the death zone. Some bodies get buried under snow while others are trapped in deep crevasses. Only for about 15 days a year, when wind speeds decrease, can climbers reach above 26,000 feet, (ca. 8 kilometer). However, in the death zone, wind speeds often exceed 62 miles per hour, (ca. 100 kilometers per hour). If a body cannot be retrieved within this short window, the task becomes impossible. Another major issue is cost. Retrieving a single body costs thousands of dollars. For example, removing a body from 26,000 feet, (ca. 8 kilometers), requires 12 rescuers, each needing 4 oxygen tanks. With each tank costing over $400, Oxygen alone costs more than $20,000. The current estimates suggest that retrieving a single body costs between $75,000 and $80,000. Most families cannot afford this expense, and private companies are unwilling to take on the risks of the death zone. Every climber is supposed to have insurance for rescue and body retrieval, but these policies are often ineffective, and in extreme conditions, rescue becomes impossible. The weight of a dead body at high altitudes is also a problem. A normal 80-kilogram body can freeze and become 150 kilograms, nearly doubling in weight. Even the strongest Sherpas can only carry about 25 kilograms in the death zone, less than 30% of their usual capacity. At least 8 to 10 rescuers are needed to bring down a single body. Moreover, Everest's freezing temperatures prevent bodies from decomposing naturally or being cremated. Due to these challenges, Everest is slowly turning into a graveyard filled with bodies. Neither technology nor finances make body retrieval feasible, making the mountain not just a peak of dreams, but also a silent witness to countless deaths. The Nepalese government began an initiative in 2019 to clean Mount Everest, including removing dead bodies. In 2019, 4 unidentified bodies were recovered, and in 2024, 5 more were retrieved. However, given the hundreds of bodies still on the mountain and the increasing death toll, progress is slow. Climate change is worsening the situation by melting ice, exposing previously hidden bodies, and making retrieval even more complicated. Rescuers face extreme conditions while working at high altitudes. Altitude sickness causes headaches, vomiting, and coughing, making body recovery even harder. In 2024, the Nepalese army allocated 5 million Nepalese rupees per body for retrieval, significantly lower than private companies' $75,000 to $80,000 per body. Even with this funding, the operation remains difficult due to the harsh environment and logistical challenges. The process of retrieving a body itself is grueling. Rescuers use tools or sometimes hot water to extract frozen bodies from the snow. It can take up to 11 hours to free a single body. Once retrieved, the body is placed in a bag and dragged on a plastic sled down to lower camps. For example, in one case, it took 24 hours to bring a Czech climber's body 3.5 kilometers down to a lower camp, and an additional 13 hours to transport it to another camp. The final step involves using a helicopter to airlift the bodies to Kathmandu, but bad weather often delays the process. Despite these efforts, the sheer scale of Everest, the risks involved, and limited resources make body retrieval operations largely ineffective. True success in this endeavor still seems far away. A hidden challenge: the search for solutions. Since Everest became a global attraction, it has held hundreds of dead bodies, but for a long time, little attention was given to them. The Nepalese government's body retrieval campaign, which officially began in 2019, is a much-needed step. As climate change melts the ice, bodies long buried are now surfacing. Local communities and many climbers consider Everest a sacred divine land, but scattered corpses disturb this spiritual significance. These scenes not only diminish the mountain's beauty, but also leave climbers psychologically shaken. Instead of a peak of dreams, Everest starts to feel like a vast cemetery, instilling fear and sorrow. This raises a question. If Everest is becoming a graveyard for climbers, why not ban expeditions? In reality, not everyone is allowed to climb Everest. Climbers must pass health tests and undergo special training. Some argue that preventing experienced and healthy individuals from climbing would be unfair, as Everest is a personal challenge rather than a state-controlled activity. The main reason for not banning expeditions, however, is economic. Everest is the backbone of Nepal's tourism and economy. A climbing expedition costs a minimum of $50,000, and with additional services, it can go up to $67,500. Even without a guide, permit fees range from $11,000 to $22,000. This revenue supports local guides and communities, and banning expeditions would mean losing a significant source of income. Therefore, stricter rules and regulations are necessary instead of outright bans. Currently, climbers must have insurance for rescue and body retrieval, but these policies are not effectively enforced. A stricter approach, such as requiring mandatory deposits or insurance funds to cover future body retrievals, could help prevent bodies from piling up. For instance, if a climber goes missing and their body remains on the mountain, their insurance deposit could be used to fund retrieval missions. Apart from the issue of bodies, Everest also faces a serious waste problem. From Camp 1 to Camp 4, hundreds of tons of human waste have accumulated. Due to extreme cold, waste does not decompose, making this a long-term problem. Although the government has the authority to enforce waste control, a lack of proper regulations and enforcement has made the situation worse. Everest is not just a mountain, it is a living history where every layer of ice holds untold stories of death. Every step climbers take is upon the shadows of lost souls. The real question is, will Everest remain a graveyard of the fallen, or can it become a symbol of triumphant human spirit? The answer lies in our hands. Only through strict regulations, effective enforcement, and dedicated efforts can we preserve Everest's glory and beauty.